What's up, baby? Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a great day. Got my ass sunburned yesterday, man. Look at that. I got fried. And when you got a nose like this, man, which is like 4 feet closer to the sun than the rest of your body, it's not a good thing. I could put like a whole thing of sunscreen just on my nose, man. Just put it on there. I could just put the bottle on my nose and not even spray it out on my nose. Is probably a good thing. Hey, hope you're having a great day. One of the reasons I did get sunburned, I went out and did the World Games thing. I gotta tell you something, man. I'm into the World Games thing. Maybe it's because my boy's into it so much, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. We did canopy piloting yesterday, which is one of the craziest things I've ever seen people do. Obviously, you want to see some danger. We love seeing wipeouts. And I didn't see a lot of that because the canopy piloting guys were so good, and girls. It was a co-ed thing. But it was just crazy. And they're coming down like 70, 80 miles an hour. It's based on accuracy, speed, and distance. A great job. It was a lot of fun. And even the dude that was doing the PA announcing was like, would you like to see this come back to Birmingham? I'm like, hell yeah. It's something I didn't even know existed. Yeah, it's really interesting, too, because when you talk about the Olympics, there are some sports, obviously, that are better than others, and there are some sports that a lot of people like to watch more than others. I don't know how piloting or canopy piloting would have transferred to television. It would have been kind of difficult, but it'd be kind of cool to watch. But the one thing that I think has been so interesting about the World Games is I think we thought that, like, all these people were coming from all these different countries, and they were going to set up their thing, and they were going to kind of stick to themselves. They were going to compete. These athletes have been great. I mean, they look like they're really having a great time. And maybe it's because it's the World Games and a lot of people don't know these sports. They don't know korfball, or they don't know some of these other, or parkour or whatever. They don't know these things. Al Cooper, good morning. And so maybe this is their chance to showcase this sport that they know and love. I don't know how you make a living doing canopy piloting. I'm assuming it's not like a regular career. Like when you graduate, you're like, I think I'm going to be a canopy piloter. I don't, but and there's so many sports like that outside, like sumo wrestling, which we know has been around forever. So kudos to these athletes, because I was getting some pictures taken with them. They were coming out. They were into the crowd. They were handing out flags. They were into the crowds. It's just great. And maybe it's because they normally don't have people watching their sporting events while they're doing it, and so they're surprised by it. Maybe it's because it's a platform that the entire world is watching. I don't know, but I think they're doing a fantastic job, and it looks like all the athletes that are coming from all over the world. And I just love the different cultures. I love seeing the way they dress, the way they act, what they eat. I love the way they talk. It's super cool. We're sitting there, and there were like 15 different nationalities, 15 different... It was like listening to different birds chirping back and forth. I didn't know what the hell they were saying. It was super cool. Of course, I didn't know what I was saying either. But kudos to the World Games and what they're doing. We also went and watched, which is one of the reasons I got sunburned, to John Carroll yesterday to watch the Frisbee competition, the Frisbee game. I think it's Ultimate Frisbee. In the United States, just absolutely torched Great Britain, which was fantastic. They won 13-6. We got there, and so far, and I reached out to Gene Holman, who's a friend of mine, who's helped put this thing on, and whatever Gene touches is gold. He knows what he's doing. Southern hospitality at his best. He's great. I mean, the guy's fantastic. And so far, everything's been good. So we got to John Carroll, and obviously, it's hotter than hell here in Birmingham. I know it's hot everywhere, but it's just stinking hot. And so everyone wanted to sit on the far side where it was shady. And so we did. And then as minute we got over there, they told us that because of some breach in security or something, we had to go sit on the other side and sit in the sun, which was kind of a crock. Because quite frankly, I wouldn't have sat out in the sun for 3 hours had I known I was going to have to sit out in the sun for 3 hours. I'm not a puss, but I was like, this is crazy. Teresa Ponder, good morning. I was like, this is crazy. So we sat through it because I paid $30 a ticket to go. So besides that, it was pretty good. But sunscreen, water, I mean, whatever you need, man, it's great. And so far, I think the World Games are doing great. We got 4 more days. We got the closing ceremonies coming up this weekend. I'm not getting paid by the World Games or anything. I just think it's really cool to have all these different subcultures and different international things coming into our area that, quite frankly, and I said this on the Jay Barker Radio Network yesterday, I think one of the reasons we think it's so cool around here is because I would venture to guess that the majority of people that live in the great state of Alabama don't move. We may go to the beach. We may go visit some people in Arkansas. Maybe we go out to the West Coast once in a while, but we certainly don't go outside our boundaries of the United States of America to have all that culture coming in to Birmingham, little old Birmingham, is pretty damn cool. So kudos. I think it's great. Something else happened yesterday that I think is really interesting, and there's a TikTok video that's gone viral, go figure, about guilt tipping. Good morning, Teresa. And I've talked about this on the show several times. It happened to me 5 times yesterday. Every time I went to get a Powerade or a bottle of water, I went to lunch a couple of times. I got lunch at a regular restaurant. Then I went, and of course, there's all these kiosks and food trucks and stuff at all the venues, which is great. I'm not crazy about paying $6 for a bottle of Powerade, but it was hot and they were making it sit in the sun. Maybe they're in cahoots with the food truck people. But you get the old screen, and then you stick your card in, and the first thing they do is there's going to be some prompts, follow the prompts. And of course, the first one is the tip prompt. And sometimes it's 15, 20, 25% or other or no tip. And normally they're handing it to you because they're standing outside of a window. And so it's almost impossible for them not to see what you're tapping. I think most people, quite frankly, I don't think they really, they care that they're getting tips. But I don't think they're sitting there looking to see whether you're going to give them a 25% tip or no tip at all. My deal is I give tips, and I tip really, really well if I get good service. Now, service is not always people coming to your table and setting your plate and bringing your food back from the kitchen. Sometimes it is at a food truck. And I know these people are sitting there hotter than hell too, and I know they don't make a ton of money. And so, I want to help out a little bit. So I will usually tip, and typically anything below 15% says your service is lousy. So there's a 10% on there, but I don't even think there is a 10% on these damn things. So normally, depending on what I'm buying, if I'm buying a $6 Powerade and I'm going to throw an extra buck in there and that makes your day, then I'll throw in an extra buck. It's $1. If you're talking about, being down at Legion Field, which I was down there for flag football, and I'm getting several different things to eat, and it's $43. Next thing you know, you're tipping $10 at a food truck, and I'm like, Andy, good morning to you. And then I'm kind of like, screw this, man. I'm not paying $10, for a tip. Now, I went to Moe's yesterday down there at Lee Branch, and I like those people down there. I think it's under new management. They're doing a great job. Moe's was really good when it opened, and then they went through some franchise changes, and they didn't put anything on their burritos and stuff, and now they're loading stuff up. It's really good. The Lee Branch location, I will tell you, is really, really good. And they're super friendly, too. They even say welcome to Moe's when you walk in the damn restaurant again. For a while, they didn't even say welcome to Moe's. So I love it. So they're doing a great job. Good job down there. So I walked through the line, right? They served me because they were making my food, which is what they're going to do anyway. And I got to the end, but they were super friendly. And so when she asked me for a tip, I was happy to do it. Now their tip is like $1, $2, $3, $5, which is really they're kind of jipping themselves out a little bit. Because if you're doing the percentage, they're making a hell of a lot more. But maybe someone said, listen, stop doing the percentage thing because it's outrageous because you're not serving anybody. We're walking through line. It's a concession thing. It's like going to school. But in that particular case, well, let me tell you something. Let me just say this. This is my get off my lawn moment. You kids out there, or anyone working, I realize that the food industry sucks. It's hard. It's hot. It stinks. If you're young, you got acne and you're around grease, and it's tough. My dad made me work in the service industry. I always talked about working at Kentucky Fried Chicken for 2.5, 3 years. And it was the best thing I ever did because I learned service and I learned what it's like to be part of a team. And yeah, it sucked. It was hot, but man, it set my standard for my work ethic, right? And so I understand that, and it's a stinker. But if you can just turn on a smile and say, how are you doing today? Your tips will go through the roof. If you're sitting there trying to pull a soup Nazi on me and you're not being friendly, and I don't care if you're an introvert, I don't care if you're shacked up at home and you don't have any social well-being in your life, I don't care. But if you're going to be in the service industry and you just look at people in the eye and you go, how you doing today? I hope you're having a great day. What can I get for you? You're going to get my tip. You're going to get my tip. It's the service industry is so bad right now that even if you're kind of nice, I think you're super nice. I'm like, wow, this guy asked me how I'm doing today. And I was showing videos of the canopy piloting to the guy making my burrito yesterday, and he thought it was super cool. He's like, that's really nice. And we actually had a little conversation. There was no behind me, and I was like, this is great. And he was just being human, just being nice to me as a customer. And I even told his boss, the owner, I said, man, that guy down there was super nice. Give him a raise. He's super, super good. And he made great food. So if you're in the service industry and you want to make some serious cash, man, you never know when that NBA All-Star is coming in and wants to drop a $500 tip on you. That's what I always say whenever I do Tony Kurre Radio on the Tony Kurre Radio station and Tony Kurre Radio Network. You never know who's listening, man. You know, I could have somebody from NBC or Westwood One. I could have some huge affiliate listening to Tony Kurre Radio or watching my Facebook post, and they love what they're seeing. They say, I'm passionate about it. And they go, I like this guy. And next thing you know, your next big break comes in. But I'm telling you right now, if you're looking down at the floor while you're making a burrito or serving a Powerade and not being friendly to people, you're not going to get shit in life. You're not going to get anywhere. But if you're friendly, open your doors for yourself. I mean, it's just being human. Hey, I know it's stinking hot. I know it's bad. I got a giant pimple on my cheek from the fryer last week at Kentucky Fried Chicken. It sucks. But how you doing today, man? This is my life. I chose this job. This is what I've got right now. I'm 18. I'm working through it until I get through school and I can make millions of dollars. So be it. But be nice. Be friendly. And I'm telling you, people like me have been treated so badly in the industry lately that now when someone just like looks at me in the eye and says, how you doing today? I'm thinking, holy crap. I mean, this person must be having a great day. That he saw me good morning to you. So something to think about. Listen, you do what you want to do on the tipping thing. The tipping industry's obviously changed. And I worked in the bar industry well enough to know that a lot of waitresses, hell, they didn't even care about getting their regular paycheck because there was nothing on it. They were making $2.17 an hour and they weren't going to do it. But, you know, and a lot of people make it off tips. Well, if you're making your living off tips, then realize you're making your living off tips. I would like it if someone would put the iPad or whatever the hell they call it and put it in front of you and go, hey, listen, I hope you've enjoyed your visit here today. If there's anything I can do for you, you want me to bring your food to your table, and I'd really appreciate it because this is how I make my living. That speaks to me, and I get that. I've seen that happen. I understand that. And one day they're going to be on the other side of the counter, and they're going to be having to deal with service industry people, and they're going to see, man, maybe I should have been a little more friendlier. Make eye contact. Just be friendly. I mean, you could be the most unsociable, introverted hermit in the world. But if you're serving tables or you're working at a restaurant or somewhere where you have to deal with people on a regular basis, and by the way, the volunteers, the World Games are doing a fantastic job too. I don't know what the hell they do. They just walk around, but there's a ton of... Oh, and I want to mention this too real quick. What is up with the security at all the events? There are more sheriff cars. I didn't realize that the state of Alabama had that many police cars. I saw probably 45 police cars at Barber Motorsports yesterday, and I'm like, and they're sitting everywhere with their lights on, the air conditioner blowing. Well, I'm not faulting the police officers because I got a lot of friends of mine that are police officers. I like you guys. Thank you for your service. But what is up? And then I go to John Carroll. It's a Catholic school, for God's sakes. There must have been 55 police cars in the parking lot at John Carroll yesterday, and there were 30 people in the stands. What is going on with the security? I was at Legion Field the other night for flag football, and I counted 63 police officers inside the stadium. What the hell? I mean, I felt super safe, but at first I was kind of like, is there something going on here I don't know about? I saw an FBI agent yesterday at Canopy Piling. What is the FBI doing there? Can someone tell me, please? Listen, if you're worried about being safe, the World Games is a safe place to be. I mean, I've never seen so many police officers in a million years. And of course, obviously, if you're doing the right thing, it doesn't bother you. But I've never seen, I even talked to one at Legion Field the other night. I said, man, you guys are well represented. He goes, no doubt. And I was like, what's going on? He goes, I don't know. They just told us to be down here. And so they're all just standing around talking. I mean, I saw 8 police officers in a circle, looked like they were having a prayer group talking. I'm like, dude, isn't there something else going on in the city that you go help with? I know it's not their call, but please, security's crazy. I mean, seriously, you want to feel really safe? Go to the World Games. You're good. All right, happy birthday to Harrison Ford today. Turns 80 today. Ken Jeong. You like Ken Jeong? I don't get Ken Jeong. I don't think he's funny. I see those eye commercials he's on. He's 53 today. Thought he was great in The Hangover. It was a great bit. I get it. I know he's been in a couple other movies too. But the dude ain't funny. And he sure is only funny on The Masked Singer. I mean, if you're going to be a guy that's on The Masked Singer, I mean, even Howie Mandel is a little funny on America's Got Talent. He's not funny. I don't get it. Am I missing something here? I think he's great in The Hangover. He's a super funny guy. I get it. Naked guy jumping out of a trunk of a car is super funny. But the dude ain't funny to me. And he's getting all these roles. I don't get it. Also, Patrick Stewart, 82, and Cheech Marin, who we've had on our show actually a couple times, along with Tommy Chong, has a birthday today. He turns 76. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget later on tonight, Southern Precision Staffing. Brandy Joe Sutherland, good morning to you. We've got big old Live Wire Wednesday tonight. We're doing AC/DC A to Z. Last week we got through L. Let's Get It Up was the last tune we did. We'll do the rest of the alphabet, AC/DC. So we're taking titles of all their songs, starting obviously with M. Tonight, and we'll do that at 8 o'clock, brought to you by Southern Precision Staffing for all your staffing needs. Check it out and get after it here. They're doing wonders. 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828 for any of your construction, staffing needs, anything you need. Kai Gregory and his crew do a wonderful job, and they bring you AC/DC's Live Wire Wednesday. We also have a show called Mission Minded with Michael Coleman that runs at noon and 7 today on the Tony Kurre Radio app, TKR. Just download the TKR app. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out big time. If you don't like it, get rid of it. But I promise you're going to love it. We've got all these 5-star reviews. You'll love it. TKR, Tony Kurre Radio on the App Store. It's free. We play classic rock and roll 24 hours a day. Blues Almighty, a brand new show going on tomorrow. We have Damon Johnson, who does a show on Fridays. We also have When in Rome with Stuart Rome. Fantastic show. Makes you look good, feel good, sound good from the Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. And also, we have a brand new show with Kip Kiefer called Need to Know that runs at 2 and 6 on Sundays. And it's basically Kip just talking about whatever he wants to do. From the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, he gets into some politics, which I absolutely love, which is something that we've never had here on Tony Kurre Radio. That show airs on Fridays. Then go to Spotify, search Tony Kurre Radio with a K, Tony Kurre Radio, and you can listen to hundreds of our podcasts. It's free. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to sign up. Just search Spotify or Tony Kurre Radio wherever you get your podcasts and listen to hundreds of shows. It's great. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the World Games. Enjoy your week. Stay cool, and I love you, and I'll be back tomorrow morning.